Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Lit in English. And thanks for joining us on this amazing journey to understanding our inner self and materialize peace, happiness, however you want to put it. But this is the journey that we are going together in order to take back control of our life, and also we will be able to create the life that we always wanted. So let's get right into it. Um, so today we are going on to part two of the root formula, and yesterday we had the understanding that in order to get to the root of the problem, we have to go straight to the information, which is the core reason that we are getting the result we are having today. And the result that we are having in the present is a product of everything that we have done, all of our belief system that was formed and was created in the past. And today we are going to part two of the root formula. And once again, the root formula is one of the three semantic reference systems that would help us have a deeper, clearer understanding of any the topic or anything that we wanted to have the right perspective of in life. So let's waste no time and let's get right to it. All right. So there's a time again that I would like to invite you to just grab a piece of paper and draw along the way with me. And let's start with writing the word at the bottom right. And I would like to invite you to write the word outcome here. Outcome. And then let's put a circle around it. Okay, outcome is very, very important because the outcome is what we desire. The outcome is what we are looking for. All of the outcome that we are having today is because of a decision that we made in the past, the belief that we pursuing. It is our preference system. And later we learned that it is actually our semantic reference system that generate this outcome. But to put it simply, all of the outcome come from our choice. All of the event that had happened in our life, we always given a choice. We make a decision. And because of our decision, we receive the outcome that we are having. For example, because I decided to move to the US, my outcome is I am now living in the US. And because I decided to major in philosophy, now I am having a degree in philosophy, and that lead to many, many other decisions, many other outcome that will continuing to occur in the future. And one thing about us human is that when we look at the favorable outcome, the outcome that we want, the outcome that bring us a lot of good things, we tend to believe that we are the one who make that choice. We make the right decision, and because of that, we have that outcome. For example, Jeff Bezos would take credit for the success of Amazon because that was his choice to invest time in Amazon and money and effort, and he did an amazing job. But did you know that not all of the project within Amazon were successful? There were a time when Amazon invested over $1 billion on the phone called the Fire, right? So Amazon have a very successful product called the Kindle Fire, and they see the potential in the phone industry, and they invested money to launch their product, but it just ended up in failure. And the funny thing is, the Jeff Bezos or all of the executive, they would point the finger, they would blame other people for not having a successful project. And we are the same way. When outcome occur that is unfavorable to us, we tend to blame other people. But when the outcome is favorable to us, when the outcome is right, we often like to take credit for it. And that is one of the trap that we should avoid, because you know what? If we can be responsible, and if we can just be in control of every decision that we make, we might the outcome might be even greater, right? So why did we make the choice that we make that lead to the outcome that we have? Thanks to our teacher, we learned the word that the reason that we are making the choice that we are making, for example, like why do I wear a white shirt today? Why do I have this setup right now compared to the one that I had a couple of days ago? And we learned that simply because we like it. Liking. Like the reason that we like certain thing lead to our choice that created the outcome. Okay, because I like to eat. That's why I guess I eat in late, or because I enjoy presenting these amazing knowledge. That's why I decided to um, make time to share this amazing knowledge. So it is all about the outcome. And nowadays, we've learned that we have to start with the outcome in order to get the result that we want. This is a very important advice, because many people they live life and they go on in life without knowing what they want. It's kind of like getting on a taxi, and then this taxi driver asks you, where are we going? And then you tell them that, I don't know. I don't know where we're going. And then he couldn't help you. But if we can start with a clear outcome that we want and work backwards, we will know what we need to do, what we need to have in order to be successful, be able to materialize the outcome that we want. And I learned this very, very early on. I think back in 2000, when I was only 13 years old, and my mother was one of a very successful executive of her company, and her company had a workshop, and she was one of the few people who got to attend that workshop, that webinar. And she told me and my family this story, and I still remember it. She told us that on the first day of that webinar, or that seminar, she everybody in the room, not only her, they was asked to write down the three most important things that they want to have in 10 years. And they keep repeating that, you know what, it doesn't matter how big the dream is. They want my mother and everyone in that room to write it down. And at first people didn't take it serious, but then they was advised and they was persuaded to, you know what, just write it down. It doesn't matter how crazy it is, doesn't matter how you might believe that unlikely it was to happen. We just want you to write it down, the three most important thing that you want to have in 10 years. So my mom wrote down that she wanted to have a nice house, she wanted to have a nice car, and she wrote down that she wanted to have her children go study abroad. And at that time, it was impossible for us to have that. We just wasn't in a financial standing to accomplish any of that. But my mom thought to herself that that is exactly what she wanted to have. So fast forward 10 years after that, in 2010, we she was able to accomplish all of it. My my parent bought a car. It wasn't a new car, but it was a very, very luxurious used car. And then they own multiple property. And both me and my brother, when started abroad, even my very young sister had a chance to travel to Australia as well. Now, the power of having an intention of what you want, and kind of like don't think about it and written it down, it is an outcome that you manifest in your mind. And that was a decision that you make because you had great liking to it. Over time, it will material itself to bring you the outcome that you want. And this is very, very, very powerful. We discussed this briefly back in the transformation principle, which is one of the four principle. And in the transformation principle, we have learned that it is very important to contemplate positively rather than negatively. So what my mother was able to learn in that seminar is that she was put in a room where she focusing her energy and her thought on a very beautiful outcome, and subconsciously her mind and her environment work in a way to materialize that outcome. Okay, so that's one perspective. Another perspective that I want you to look at this is a more scientific one, the more um, common practice that company would use to to get to the outcome that they want, or to get to the target sale, or the target profit, or the revenue that they want to have. For example, let's say you own a retail store, you would want to make at least $100,000 in sale a month, for example, because your expenses are like, let's say, 80 to 90,000 a month, and you would like to make that $10,000 to $20,000 a month. Therefore, you can make a goal, or you can set the outcome that you want to be in that $100,000 a month. All right. So if you move on to bigger company, they will have bigger number. But what I wanted to tell you is that different company have different strategy to manifest the outcome that they want. And often they would focus on finding the right employee to make that a reality. So similar to that, the outcome that we want to get is based on our choice, based on our liking, that lead to the outcome. But the choices and the decision that we make are very much based on our character. So let's go ahead and write the word character here. Character. And for a bigger corporation, they would focus on the employee, the people that will work for them. And this is why if you were to ever do any job searching, you will see that there's a list of requirements. Like you have to have a bachelor degree, you have to have certain years in the business. And the reason that they have those listing, because they understand big company spend a lot of money on researching, and they understand very clearly that in order to have the outcome that they want, they have to have the right character in their company. Similarly, in order to have the outcome that you desire, you have to have the right character. All right. So I've been overweight for many years, being obese, not very healthy. And I know that because of the choice that I make on the food I eat, on the drink that I drink, and how I did not want to exercise regularly. And those are my character, which lead to the outcome that I had to deal with, which is being overweight, being obese. So here we see that, you know what? We can go deeper to just looking at the choice, our liking, to get to the outcome. It is the character that will get to the outcome. But even the character is not the root of the problem, the root of all things. Because we quickly realize that our character are actually formed with our habit. So that's why the word habit. And this is directly influence character. And this is proven by many research study by many company as well, because they quickly realize that because they hire the people with the right character for the outcome that they want in their workplace, many times that is not enough, because there are other factors that influence their character, and they want to have the right character at the workplace. Therefore, they started to encourage the right habit to form the character that they want. And for personal development, habit is something that we do religiously. It's like a habit. It is a ritual in order to form our character. But even habit is not the root of the problem. It is actually the action, what we do, that will lead to our habit. We have to take action. Have you ever wonder why do we brush our teeth every day? Me personally, every time I wake up, I have to brush my teeth. Before I go to bed, I have to brush my teeth, otherwise I couldn't go to bed. And the reason that is one of my habits is because of the actions that I have taken ever since I was young, ever since I was little. And to go a step deeper, we quickly realize that even action is not the root of it. The root of it, to go an even step further, it is actually our thought. That influence our action. So using the example of me brushing my teeth early in the day and toward the end of the day, the reason that I had that habit is because I take the action of brushing my teeth when ever since when I was younger. But the initial action was formed because of the thought that was put in my head, and it wasn't my own. It was my parent. My parent wanted me to have the good habit of brushing my teeth, so they keep telling me to do it. So even though, and this is where it's get interesting, because even though the desire, the thought that was from my parent, but because they got me to just take the action, and that formed the habit, and that's becoming my character. And this is where it gets very, very interesting, because a level above action is thought, but that thought, that reality might not necessarily to be yours to begin with. This could be the thought or the idea of others. And this is what I have presented you just now is is a very well done research that big company have paid a lot of money for in order to figure out this formula, because the structure of a great workplace, as I mentioned in the beginning, they always wanted to get the outcome that they desire. For example, if you are $1 million worth company, pretty much a very small company. If you want to get to $1 billion company, then what do you have to do? What step you need to take? What if you want to grow that $1 billion company into $1 trillion company? What do you need to do? What do you need to have? What kind of character, what kind of employee do you need to have? How do you get them to form the habit that they needed to form? How do you get them to take the action and what kind of thought, what kind of thinking um, should we teach them? And I didn't understand this at first until I looked back into a book that I read about 5 or 10 years ago. And in that book, the author said something very, very interesting. The author said that in order to make $1 million, you have to be a millionaire first. And when I first heard that, I thought the author make a mistake, because in order to be a millionaire, you have to have $1 million. That is the definition of it. And I thought, and this guy he make a mistake. But as I continue to read the book, I found something very, very interesting, because throughout that book, um, the author the author was wanting and was trying to give the reader the information they need to become a millionaire, because the title of the book is The Millionaire Habit, or How to Become a Millionaire. So the author was a millionaire himself, and throughout his year, he know that in order to be a millionaire, or in order to make $1 million, you have to have the character uh, a millionaire. And in his book, he go deep in what kind of habit you have to have, right? Like the habit of waking up early in the morning so you can get things done in the morning. The the habit of networking, build relationship in order to get into a better business deal. And then what kind of action do they need to take? Do meditation, and then reading book, and kind of thought do you need to have, what kind of thinking, kind of principle that you need to have in order to become a millionaire. So through thought, through action, through habit, through character, many student of that author was able to become a millionaire. Similarly, through the right thought, the right action, the right habit, the right character, big company like Amazon was able to get the outcome that they want through their network of employees. And this is something that you can apply for anything and everything you wanted to have in life, whether it is health, whether it is understanding your inner self, whether it is having the better relationship, better finance, as I mentioned deeply in today's presentation. You all, the expert tell us that we only need to figure out these four. What kind of character we need to be, what kind of habit, what kind of action, what kind of thought. But that is still not the not the root of the problem. It's going deeper, or the word that I would like to use with is not the seek of the outcome that we want. Remember what we shared from yesterday? In order to have a sweet mango, we have to have the seed of a sweet mango. Because if we already have a mango tree and it's turned out to be sour, then they're all of the effort that we going to do is not as effective as just having the seed of the sweet mango because you reap what you sow. Therefore, what we want is not just the root of the problem. It is the seed that we are looking for. And in this case, the seed of it is the mindset. So your mindset will have direct influence on your thought. And our teacher show us that your mindset is what directly influence your choice. And this is very, very, very powerful. Let's do a case study of Bill Gates, for example. When Bill Gates was young, and he's 10, 11 years old, he was fascinated with computer. He went to one of the scientific museum and that his parents took him to, and in there he learned about the potential of the computer. At that time, people don't quite understand the potential of the computer. They are just amazed of the calculation that the computer can do. And Bill Gates, as a very young child, was fascinated, and he developed his love uh, to writing software. And he's made up his mind that computer is going to be everywhere in the future. And he understood that even though computer can do some crazy computing, you need a software in order to get the computer to operate. So at the very, very young age, Bill Gates made up his mind that he is going to dedicate his life into making software. That was his love, that was his desire. And later on, when the opportunity come, he decided to drop out of college to work full time with his company, which is Microsoft. And through that, he become not only the youngest billionaire at that time, he eventually become one of the richest person in the world for decades. And this is the power of the mindset. You see, instead of having looking toward the outcome and work back to find, oh, what kind of character do I want to, that I need to become like Bill Gates? What kind of habit do I need to have to become like Bill Gates? What kind of action do I need to take? What kind of thought? It is a mindset that lead directly to the outcome. And we have learned this from the story of Mr. Roger Bannister as well. Remember the story of Mr. Roger Bannister running 1 mile under 4 minutes? You see, Mr. Roger Bannister didn't try to figure out what kind of character he need to be able to run 1 mile under 4 minutes. He didn't look at what kind of habit or action or thought in order to get to the outcome of running 1 mile under 4 minutes. And do you know why he didn't go on that route? Similar to Bill Gates, he didn't go on that route because prior to his accomplishment, there wasn't anyone in the world was able to accomplish what he did. So he didn't have a model to 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 model himself after in order to get that outcome. He had to come up with what he needed to get to that outcome. He didn't know what kind of thought, what kind of action, what kind of habit, what kind of character. The only thing that Mr. Roger Bannister, similar to Bill Gates, have had in the very beginning is that they had the mindset of accomplishing the goal that they wanted. For Mr. Roger Bannister, his mindset is that I will be the person that will run 1 mile under 4 minutes. And he materialized that goal. For Bill Gates, it was his mindset to invest all of his time, all of his effort in building Microsoft because he knew that that is the future. And he was living in the future. He was having that mindset. And because of that mindset, it led directly to his choice of investing full time in writing software. For Mr. Roger Bannister, his mindset is that he's going to be the first person to break the record of running 1 mile under 4 minutes. And because of that mindset, it led directly to his choice and get right to his outcome. And the book that I shared with you earlier, you see, even though the author talked about the character, the habit, the action, and the thought, it was the mindset of a millionaire that mattered. So instead of going through many steps, we gotta decide. We have to have a mindset of what we want to be, what the outcome that we want to have. And this is the beautiful thing about having this mindset. But what if I tell you that mindset is not the root of the problem? It's not the foundation, it's not the seed of it yet. If we can dive in a little bit even deeper into it, we quickly realize that there is a layer deeper, and it is called image. Image. You see? There is something that is even deeper than the mindset. In order to have a mindset like Bill Gates, that computer is everywhere. Computer is going to be everywhere. And in order to use the computer, people need to have software. So in order to have the mindset, Bill Gates has to know something that no one else know at that time, not even his professor. Bill Gates' professor thought that he was crazy. The professor thought that it was impossible to have computing in every single household because it was cost millions of dollars and the computer would fill up the entire room. That was a technology that they had to deal with back then. But for Bill Gates, having the computer in every household is a real thing. He was able to see that image. He was able to have that vision of the future. And if you can recall back to activation of the brain, that's one of our four principles, you will realize that, you know what, we can activate it, we can practice it, we can have the images of the future or of the outcome that we want. So because of the images of achieving those success, Mr. Roger Bannister and Bill Gates was able to have the right mindset, which lead to their choice, which help materialize their outcome. And this is very, very deep because you know what? If you can just change the image that you have deep within your subconsciousness, you would be able to reach the outcome that we want. If you can see the image of having a beautiful body, then you will have it. Or in the case of my mother, someone is much closer to me, he was given a very special gift back in 2000 when she went to that workshop, and she was asked to write down what she wanted to have the most, and thankfully he wrote down that he want her children to go study abroad. And because of that very images, I now get to live in the US and get to learn everything that I have learned and sharing everything that I am sharing with you today. That is very, very beautiful, and that is very, very powerful. So images, one of the very amazing thing. But what if I tell you that that is not the root of it all? The root of it is something even deeper. And let's waste no time. And there is actually four of it, not just one. And let's write down the word hearing and seeing, saying, and knowing. Okay. So when I first heard of this, I was like, what are you talking about? Hearing, seeing, knowing, saying. That don't make any sense at all. And a person that is very influential to my life say something very interesting in his interview, and that person is Elon Musk. So in one of Elon Musk's interview, he would ask why, like, or how can I be like Elon Musk? This was one of the fans that was very excited to meet Elon and ask Elon how can he be like him? How can he be like Elon? And Elon Musk thought about it for a good like 5 to 10 seconds. And then I don't know if he was conscious of this or not, but he mumbling that you don't want to be me. You don't want to be me because it's hard to stop thinking about ideas because idea it just keep coming to him, to his head. And if you don't know who Elon Musk is literally the most well-known, the most successful person in the entire world. People would be happy with having one successful small company. This guy, he had multiple um, company that was, uh, I guess, hundreds of billions of dollars, and all of those company had potential to be trillions and trillions of dollar company. I mean, the man he's trying to go into Mars and colonize Mars, and that is literally owning another planet. And as crazy as it sounds, he is doing it. So there is something very, very special, very, very interesting going on in his mind. Pretty much what Elon was saying is that he keep hearing, he could seeing, he keep knowing, he saying those information with form of very, very clear, very vivid image. And that is what created his mindset. The mindset in having an electric car, the mindset in space exploration. And it led to the outcome of his success today. Very, very, very powerful. And my friend, that is the root formula. You can use this very same formula to many, many other things in life. And this is only one out of the three semantic reference system. And I would like to end here. And you know what? I will see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for going on this journey with us. And again, this is our mission of sharing these amazing knowledge to every corner of the world because it is extremely important. It is extremely critical that we are doing it right here, right now. And once again, thank you so much for joining us on our journey. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye bye.